Okay, right. Now, because I went over time, okay, so we don't have a lot of time left for the practical session. What I do is that you have got these slides about challenges and solutions for working with older people in PAR project. I won't talk about everything. What I want to do is that to talk about challenges of working with older person in a PAR project and some of the solutions that we can do in order to improve the situation, because this will be a good example or a case study for you to start thinking about the group work that I set for you. What I said for you is that we will think about, if say you want to implement or plan for a PAR project with say a group of homeless people, what would be the challenges that you might face and what can you do in order to overcome the challenges? So that's the example. So we will separate into groups and I will get Ayago and Ja to help with that, about the group. But what I do is that give you a case study quickly, okay? So that example from older person. So that's what we do. So I will skip a few things about, older person and things like that, okay? So bear with me, I just go quickly. I won't talk about this at all. We know that the older people tend not to be included in research, okay, because some people think that they are too old to participate, they don't know anything, and so on. There are so many reasons which I won't talk about. So what I do is that I go through a few things about involving older person and the challenges that you might have, okay, in a PAR project. So I will spend a bit of this and then I'll talk about the solution. So you remember what we have said thus far from the beginning, that sort of thing. Of course, in doing a piece of research, it will have some challenges. It doesn't matter which group. But when we talk about older person, that sort of thing, and particularly when they have other health issue or health problem, yeah, like dementia or a few other things, how are you, what sort of thing that you might come across in using PAR with older person? And older person tend not to trust you as a researcher. Quite often because of their experiences or whatever that happened, they don't really trust people. And certainly younger people, a lot younger people, they think that these young people don't know anything about us, that sort of thing. So they don't really trust you in that sense. So lots of may happen. Anyway, one of the things that we might come across is the recruiting and also retaining. How can we recruit older person in our study? It's very difficult to get older person to participate, particularly when the research project is, what is this, that sort of thing. But if you use PAR, you might find that they are more likely to participate when you have some sort of innovative ways of doing things. So that's one of the things, recruitment. Okay, how can you allow them or make them see that they can take part in your research? So you need to think a lot about recruiting. Once you have recruited them, what about keeping them in the project? Because PAR takes a lot of time, okay? Older people tend to get tired very quickly. Some have other health issues that take them away from the project. So you can't expect them to participate fully in your project, okay? And they might have to go to see a doctor, and they might have to look after the grandchildren and so on or something like that. So sometimes we can't retain older person in our project. So recruiting is one thing, retaining is another thing, yeah. So I talk about that it's hard to recruit people. Certainly older person from some group like ethnic minority groups, they are very, very suspicious about your research. Okay, and they are very skeptics about what this research can do for us, that sort of thing. So these are the things you have to think carefully. Find ways that you can recruit them and retain them. So that's just one of the challenge that you might come across. Also the time frame that you have, and also personal motivation of the participant and the time. These are the things that can prevent people to take part in your research or maintain in your research. They might lose their interest or their motivation if you ask them to do too much or it takes too long, okay? Or you expect them to involve in so many things. So they might not want to do that. Commitment, because when we do PAR, it requires a lot of commitment from the participant, or the person may not want to do that or may not be able to do that either. So you see that's why they might not say yes, or they say yes and then they decided to leave your PAR project. So you come across these issues in some project. The interest, different degrees of interest. Okay, so because we want people to become personal involved in our PAR project, and you might find that some older person will be more interested in the project and in participation, but others may not. Okay, so how are you going to to stimulate people to be interested in your project? You can't expect that. Okay, so it may happen, and that is the reason why people might want to leave your PAR project. So the interest may not be there, and some might be interested more in doing lots of things, okay, in doing the research part, in data collection and so on, but other may not want to do that. Just too tiring, too much work. I might be interested in only during the dissemination process or something like that. So then that means that your participant cannot fully participate in your research. Yeah, so you have to cater for this sort of thing. Yeah, different degrees of interest that may happen. So sorry, and also the responsibility. Yeah, in the research project may be different, and that part of this degree of interest. So here I want to give you the example from the gay and gray project. Okay, you see that because the project got both men and women. See this? Women wished to lead the research process, but the men were interested in outreach work. See that? Different level or different interests that people might have. And so again, how you balance that? Okay, when some participants want to do this part, other want to do another part. So another issue, yeah, so another issue that you come across. The level of involvement, I think I did say that before, that some people want to do a lot of work in the PAR project, others cannot and will not. So again, they can't fully participate in your project. What are we going to do with this? Okay, because of their, like demands and everything like that. So I did say that before, so I quickly go through this. So level of involvement in PAR, you can't expect everyone, older person, to be involved in the research. Here, that's just an example. Okay, so in this project by Dale and Timoden, you see that some people spend a lot of time, extensive time during the data collection process. Some people just want to do a few hours, and at different stage of the project as well. So another issue there, that another challenge is there that we might see. So different involvement, yeah. Okay, what else? Power control among participants themselves, also that another issue there. We need to think about the power and the involvement of the participant. Again, we deal with the different people and certain older persons, so that may be another issue. So that's what I mean by I go quickly, okay? So I won't talk about everything. Times, okay, time issues. We require a lot of time from the participant, but for older person, a time-consuming research approach might be a problem for them. So reason, like similar to before, I said that, they may not have enough time, they have to do other things and so on. They might be too tired to participate and so on. So because PAR takes lots of time, sometimes a year, 2 or 3, that sort of thing, how can we expect this older person to participate fully? So time is another thing that we might come across. Okay. That's just another example of the time issues. Okay, so again, I'll just skip that, won't talk too much. Empowerment, okay, remember this word? We talk about PAR and we said that the process of PAR will empower people. Now, how can we ensure that everyone is empowered by the research? Even when we talk about normal, not older person, or other group of people. But when we talk about older person, that sort of thing, what do we mean by this empowerment and when is it going to happen? That sort of thing. So it can be a challenging thing, to empower a person and older person with health issue in particular. So that's another problem that we might come across. It may not lead to empowerment in older community. So in this slide, you get some example about this sort of thing. Okay, so again, I just go to the problem. So you can see that when we talk about PAR with older person as a case study, we have a few challenges there. Okay, time, empowerment, the different level of interest and involvement, and so on. Okay, so we do have things like that. But then as any project, we need to think about how can we do in order to help people to participate as fully as possible, or to allow people to think that they are actually an important part of the society that can help change the society. So we need to do that, and that actually leads to empowerment, but then it may take a long time for people to realize that they have been empowered. Okay, so what I'm showing you now is what can actually be done in order to make it better in a way. All right, so just a few things. So we need to honor the lived experience and knowledge of older people. Normally, like lots of younger people think that older people, are useless. Okay, so we hear the word ageism, that sort of thing, that they don't know anything about new things like technology, they are hopeless and so on. So we think about older people in that way. And this mainly in Western society. In the non-Western is another story. Okay, so I won't touch on that. I just based on the general idea here. So we need to actually honor their lived experience. We have to believe that older people bring a lot of perspective into the society because of their experiences, about their wisdom and everything else. So we try to honor that, and we have to emphasize that in our project. That, because you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have lots of things that we can learn from you, younger generation can learn from you. So we need to honor the experience, lived experience of people. Okay, and that actually is a political tactic that can help them to participate in your research and retain in your research. So honoring their lived experience, emphasize that they are the most important member of the society and so on. 5 ways that we can help them to believe that they are valuable members of the society that we can learn from. Okay, now for some people who have health issues, their overall well-being, we have to prioritize that. Okay, so like older people in a project, PAR project with older people with dementia, that sort of thing, we need to think about when can they participate in our PAR project. So here in this project, you might have to recruit people as early within their illness as possible, because that's when they actually participate actively in your research. So when they get to the point that they can't do a lot, that sort of thing, then you might not want to involve them. Okay, so that's what I mean by think about the well-being. And that part of this honoring their lived experiences. So that's just an example of dementia. And so other health issues, you have to think about that too. Okay, so that part of that. Okay, building trust. Remember I said that older people don't trust younger people, and I can see that why, that sort of thing. Now we have to build that. Okay, really build that. And how you can do that? Participate, helping, all sort of things that you can do, even with transport, all sort of things. And that very similar to doing research with other marginalized, vulnerable group. We have to build trust with the participant before they will take part in your research. So certainly with older people, we have to make them trust us a lot more, okay, so that they can take part in our PAR project. So building trust, okay. What we can do is that not just only propose our own agenda, but their own agenda. They have to become an important part of the PAR, which is part of the PAR philosophy anyway. But emphasize that really, so that they know that this project is about our issue, therefore we can do something about it. So make sure you build trust with the participant first. Okay, here I think I said that you make connection with the participant, and even things like, you know, make some telephone calls, sending them thank you notes or Christmas cards, that sort of thing. It's just the way that you can build trust with your participant, and of course they will continue to be on your project. Okay, that's just some example. Respect, we have to respect our older participant. Of course, this also applies to other research participants, but older person, remember I said that the older person tend to be silent in the community and tend not to be valued in the society. We need to emphasize that we respect them as the person who have knowledge, who have all sort of things like that. So show them some sort of respect, then they will know. And if they don't want to participate fully in the research, respect that their wish as well. Because remember I said that maybe because they are too tired to do things, they may not only just, you know, they may only just want to do a few hours of work, not the whole lot. They might participate in certain aspects, not the whole time. Respect their wish as well. So do that. So our PAR or your PAR project, when it happens like that, it may not be a pure PAR project, but it is the thing that suitable for the person. Okay, so something like that won't be a problem. You just have to say it clearly when you write things up. Okay, so what else that we can talk about? Respect here. The informed consent. Okay, and that part of our research anyway. We have to obtain the informed consent from all participants. What happened with our research participants? Some people may not, they are illiterate, for example. So what do? Well, verbal consent, we can do that. We just ask them to say something that I'm happy to take part in your research. That's all that you need. You might record that, you might write it down, and I don't know, you can do a few things. What else it just depends on what they want to do. You know, they want to sign it, that's fine. But if they don't want to sign it, you just record your ways that they have given you the consent to take part in this research. Okay, so informed consent, obtaining informed consent is another thing that you can show respect to your participant. Here we talk about older person. Flexibilities, okay, that again really tie in with the level of interest and level of involvement as well. That you might find that today your older participant that you involve, that sort of thing, are too tired to do anything. So today no work, okay? Wait until tomorrow, okay? Or today they are too busy with looking after grandchildren. Fine, you know, do something else. So be flexible about the needs and everything else of your older participant. Then of course they will continue in your project. So make sure you have your flexibility when you work with older person. Okay, again that the flexibility, I think that probably time and traveling, venue. Okay, so be sure that the venue of where you do the data collection or meeting, that sort of thing, would suit your participants, so that venue, travel time and difficult traveling issue, that sort of thing, you need to think about. It may be that you have to pick them up if you want them to come in and do something, or you organize some sort of transportation for them. That sort of thing. Like to be flexible with the thing that may happen according to the needs of your participant. Okay, this is very important. In PAR, normally and any PAR, things may not proceed as your anticipation or plan. Okay, it happens all the times. And it can happen to other research, using other research methods too. But in PAR, you see that happen all the time. It may not. We think that data collection going to finish by then, but then it may be another 5 months before you get it done. That sort of thing, because you collaborate with people, you work with people, and involve too many people. And of course, with all the person, because of their illness, because of other issues, it won't run on time. So these are the things you need to be aware and be flexible about that. But then you might run into the problem with your funding agencies. Okay, it's the time. But you have to think about that and find ways that you can work with that. So, okay, make sure that you be flexible with the time that you have. Now here. What else in here? Setting research agenda and things like that. Okay, so another issue here. So be flexible about that. So flexibility is the main thing here. I want to say that. So don't pay attention to everything about on the slide. Okay, we have to acknowledge diversity of all the people. We have to think that all the people as other human beings are different. Men, women, older, and younger, older, that sort of thing may be different, and depend on their social class and so on. And also ethnic minority, we need to respect or think about the diversity. And these sort of things, once we know that, then we will be more flexible, we will have more respect and so on. Those sort of things will follow. Okay, so acknowledge the diversity of all the people. Do not think that they're just all people and they're the same. No. Okay, you think they are different in many ways, and so therefore acknowledge that. Now, for all the people, they may not know how to do research. They may not have any experience in doing research before, but they are happy to take part in your PAR project. So provide some training. And you don't have to train them everything. So that when the flexibility come in, that if they are interested more in helping you with data collection, then provide some training about data collection. Some people want to do the recruitment for you, then provide some sort of training about recruitment. So of course, if any of them want to take part in everything, also provide training. Because we can't be sure that the old person in our PAR project would know about how to do research. We can't. There might be some who have been a researcher and take part in that, so they might know. But we can't expect that everyone will. So provide some training. Now this provide some training is part of the PAR philosophy, isn't it? That people learn new skills, and because of that, then it helps with the empowerment and emancipation. So provide that. Okay, we have to make sure that we provide some training. I think that I don't need to say that. It's just some example here. So what we do is that what I can conclude is that when we use PAR with any people, there are always challenges and there are always the unanticipated things that can happen. So as a researcher, we have to be more flexible, find ways that we can find a solution that we can do in order to allow our project to be able to continue. So what I present you, just some from is the review of research that I have seen when they work with older person. But other groups, you might find that there are other challenges. Yeah, and then if we got those challenges, what do we do? Okay, so now this is what I'm going to get you to do. Okay, say you are designing a PAR project, okay, on health, and you can decide social issue among people from low socio-economic background, say in Asia, it can be anywhere, that sort of thing. Now, this PAR project on health and social issue, it can be on any issue like this. For example, things about breastfeeding, things like domestic violence, homelessness, mental illness, or living with chronic illness like breast cancer and HIV, say in one community. So you're going to do a PAR from poor background, but these are the issues that you're going to do your PAR. Okay, so I want you as a group to write down the key challenges you may encounter in doing such a project. Then think about some way that you can overcome those challenges. And if you can make sure that the plan is more realistic and feasible, that would be good, not too abstract. Okay? And I like you as a group to present your idea to the class. So you send someone to present what you think the challenges will be, and also what can you do to overcome the challenges. Now, I go to do, is that okay? You do the group. Now, you have the freedom of selecting any of these. Yeah? But, okay, the focus would be on poor or low socioeconomic groups of people. So that means poor people. Just do that way quickly. But these are the things that you can select.